fearless moment.
The fearless moment who likes to do the moment dance. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that moment dance when they score the chicken dinner, but they have to put in the work first. Our KHOI is going to put in the work against MEC, and now MEC, they do have the compound still, and KHOI, they're trying to flush them all out, trying to find an advantage. They are in the circle, so they have a little bit more time. And the best part about MEC is that a couple of hours ago, I actually met with one of the guys from MEC, Fuse. He actually forgot that MEC is playing today. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that for MEC.
I mean, I call him Short Fuse for a reason.
Oh.
Because he is a crazy fun guy. And he's one of the higher management when it comes to MEC for the players too. But I guess he just have too much trust towards the team that, you know, I'm just going to leave it in your hands despite not knowing you guys playing or not today. But not so great for the side of New Era. Right now, they're losing one more member. Now, despite a 2v4 just now on the side of New Era, they are struggling so much in the hands of SK. SK divided themselves to two sides, and Silence barely will be alive right now. He got one tick of health remaining and being knocked down here. New Era Sunshine will actually survive and prevail, but how much longer? We're talking about they're still outside of a circle. There's so many gatekeepers from the inner circle still.
Oh, wait, Tony K. Okay, you mentioned about eArena. They were looking at this area, and Tony K got Sunshine. So now it's Doki. Okay, Doki's in the circle, so he's fine. He does not have any healing utilities, so he cannot spend any moment in the blue. But anyway, now Zuli, Mr. Legendary Zuli just got gunned down, leaving only no fall left for New Era against Claw. They're looking for that one extra point. No fall shows up with the DBS, but from behind, it's Claw that eliminates New Era.
Well, New Era have to try and give it another go when it comes to this second map later on. At least they have extra time to revise their plans for later. But on the other hand, Vampires meow like a Mela, just giving too much information to a start of Talon and chip down quite a bit of number of damage, while Shreks down to 1 to go. It was super close.
Almost got Shrubs there. The other members of Vampire Esports looking at Talon, and what will make it difficult for Vampire Esports is that, okay, part of them don't have the circle and they have to cross the road, and Talon's just right in front of them with the compound, so that's going to be quite difficult. Let's see what sort of tricks will they have later on as we shift over to MEC right now. Only Amazon and Manzi left as they try to fight their way into the circle across ETN.
Tried to make a wonderful play here. Take a bit of charge and lead towards Manzi. On the other hand, shot down by the rest of the player of ETN. They do have those high grounds for ETN. It's going to be working both ways for them. They're being sandwiched down by both sides here against TODAK and MEC, if I'm not mistaken. But 9, Real next. Real not showing any mercy at all. Just shooting down all the players. They can actually spot anything that moves. These guys will just shoot it down on the side of Frenzy. Real will try to revive him up. They lost 2 members in the process as Javi coaches on the side of TODAK, and down to only Real to make it happen. But unfortunately, he's put out a box on Glue before, and he already given away his position. Left, right, center is nowhere to run nor hide. But Real, he knows somebody coming up from the high ground just behind him. You need to deal with the NT players first.
Okay, 1v1 right now, and Real will make it real by securing that elimination. Too bad he lost Frenzy. Oh, wait, Frenzy can still be picked up? Okay. And he has a little bit more time. But now we shift forward to Talon. Vampire Esports out of time. They have to cross this road. Only Schwab's left now for Vampire Esports. As Axel will lob his nade across. Schwab is still in the building. He has to move away. But he also has to be aware that in 8 more seconds, the zone will close on to him.
Oh, it's time to shift our eyes towards their health facility, their health utilities as well. That was a very long shot coming out from Schwabs, but we expect no less from Schwabs. He's put in open space. Oh my God, this guy is scary. He just crossed the street like a Rambo.
Oh, but too bad. From behind, there has to be another team to stop Schwabs. Bit of a party pooper for Shrubs. That was an amazing run, not gonna lie. But CelcomDigi Alliance, right now, they want to create their own amazing run. But here comes Roy.
This is not the best position. We talked about if everybody stays indoor in the same place, there's not enough information they gain from the outside. So they need an eye, a set of eyes to watch out where the nate's coming up from, where the players are coming up towards, charging towards their side, and they have any information against CelcomDigi Alliance right now. They're cornered down into that very one spot inside of this compound and this building right now. Roy, if they want to make it alive, it's either wait for the players of CelcomDigi Alliance to push towards their side, or really have to put somebody else outside, with Juke going to play their part right now to relay those information back towards this entire team's roster.
So these two teams, they're also holding their breath at the same time, like hoping for them to get the circle. And looks like they will still get part of the circle, especially Roy. They still have the circle with that compound against CelcomDigi Alliance. We'll check back on them later, because right now, what's happening here with RRQ, involving eArena, Joker will be gunned down, eArena, 2 active players left, including Sakura on this sniper tower that's not in the circle, by the way.
Oh, Tony K really tried to live up to the name Tony K right now, taking double down by himself. But that was big net coming out from Mango of Roy. CelcomDigi Alliance having a hard time to wrap things around against Roy. But Roy, this is what we worried about their position here. They clustered themselves inside. And now the only way out is just try to barricade. But they managed to take down on Nadik. Look, that's a big one for the side of Roy.
But Roy seems to be winning this fight, though. But they have to clear off the other members of CelcomDigi Alliance. One of the players currently up, Leon's. Will be back up again, but goes down immediately with a nade by Hui Kwang. As CelcomDigi Alliance, 2 active players, they try to win this fight. But they don't have a good clear shot. Oh, Leo is still on the outside of the building of Roy, while Jimmy's on the other side. At the same time, they have to be aware of some of the teams on the high ground as well, while Oleo fully focused onto trying to get a knock onto the members of Roy.
Mango. Ooh, he wants to take the charge. They want to go in. They want to just gamble it out. Down to only Jim Lee. He managed to survive. Just a second too late now. Unfortunately, CelcomDigi Alliance, despite Roy just now knowing the fact that, hey, we are all clustered in, but you know what? We wait for them to charge towards us and they make the right call. But now for the side of Roy, have to get out from where they stand, because right now getting into the circle is not going to be an easy task.
Yeah, it's going to be even harder right now as we approach stage number 7. Go slightly up north. TALON do not have the circle. And on the higher ground, okay, whoa, XSOPHERE. Nice. 4 players still intact coming in for the high ground. But then again, Sakura from the lower ground will try to stop them.
It's down to 4. Except for Roy, they have a bit slightly handicapped compared to all the other 3 teams. The 2 players left. All the other teams do have almost a full roster. Not all healthy, but enough to get them going. Lobby still needs to be revived, while Graf on XSP. Jules spotted them out. eArena, they spotted out Roy. Oh, Roy, they're down to only 1 last player. I don't know how they will try to win this with only KHOI.
Oh, for XSOPHERE, they still have at least 4 players, so they have a lot of eyes. But EXO, 1v1, with a high ground advantage, together with his other teammates, they will win this one against Roy. Roy, top 4 elimination points. eArena right now, time for them to charge into the circle. But look at this future, eArena, they only have 12 elimination points.
I feel like this is a huge threat for Tony K in the future if Tony K starts to rise up. And we do know the importance also might be the OG at this point. But back to XSOPHERE can ask for the Sakura. But how did you even miss that? He saw Sakura through the smoke just now.
Oh man, oh man. Yeah, it's likely a missed opportunity there.
go. Well, the better number wins, and it's going to be XSOPHERE scoring our first chicken of the day.
Wow, okay, this is a much needed chicken dinner for XSOPHERE as they missed out on last week's Super Weekend. They must fight their way through to get into this week's Super Weekend. And this is a very, very important beginning for them. Will it be the beginning of more? Stay tuned with us in the PMSL Southeast Asia, ladies and gentlemen.
Bit of a final blow in here. Tony K, Joker. I mean, eArena just now, we can see they have a good position themselves, but unfortunately just
Push eArena towards the edge, not allowing them to move anymore forward. But anyway, eArena, they scored a lot of eliminations, so I'm pretty sure they'll be okay with that. As for XSOPHERE, the number of eliminations that they got this round is a total of 7 with the chicken dinner, so that's pretty decent too.
pretty okay. I mean, it's week number 2. By now, they should already kind of get used and adapt themselves to its lobby and how aggressive it might actually get. And we do have lobby acts in there, so lobby acts and as Chaco, especially lobby acts and Ken, as a pretty veteran players that we know them for quite some time. And I'm not surprised they can perform as much as they can, but the problem is always going to be the same question: can they be consistent when it comes to the important map like the Wrangle?
Yeah, that's the key, right? At the end of the day, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, so they have to be consistent. But game 1, the 2 senior players performed well, with Lobby S coming with the most eliminations, while KNS with the most damage. Let's check out the best moments here from XSOPHERE's Chicken Dinner.
complicated. Make it simpler, guys. But when it comes to the numbers, it didn't get any more simpler than this to be directly showing who's more aggressive in those.
Also, we need to fight for their slot here. 7 points as a start. It's not too bad.
It's pretty okay when it comes to the first game of the day, but I do want to see, I want to see a different change of wave here. Last season, we got the Vietnam region, the Xaviers to be specific, coming up very high on top of the charts. But right now, the Xaviers seems to be a bit more quiet than they used to. I mean, are they just saving their threats for later, or, you know, do these teams prefer to play a surprise game later around this week?
Yeah, hopefully they have enough games for them to come up with surprises, especially like a Xavier Vampire Esports. A lot of fans clearly wouldn't expect them to go out with zeros, especially with game number 1. But of course, not at the end of the day. There's still a couple more games to go, or 5 more games to go today, at least to be exact, and 6 more games to go for them in the upcoming days. Now, other than that, our top 4 fighters this round. Look at this. eArena with the most eliminations of 12. Wouldn't be surprised that they can come out with 14 knocks.
I love this. Thank you so much, PUBG Mobile. So production, make it a bit better for the SAT award, sounding a bit more with more dignity with fighters, with the knocks, but never get the ending of finish. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Well, at least for eArena, they got 12 eliminations out of 14 knocks. So that's kind of nice. So not so sad for them. But for the others, well, yeah, subjective, I guess. But whether it's sad or not, they have to move on. They have to look forward, and we'll be moving on to Erangel, in which I believe that this map will be the preferred map for a lot of teams.
And for how much longer? I just hope one day you'll be surprised us. Erangel are gonna play once a day, or maybe just bring back all the old maps too, like Vikendi, Erangel, Rondo, Sunhawk. What else? Mirama. All be put in, and it's all gonna be all different map. Imagine all the players have to readapt themselves in every single map. It's not gonna be the same one in every single round. Now that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right? I wouldn't mind seeing like every match is a different map. That's so fun. Then there's no point of like talking about like, oh, the last match, they drop here, they meet here. Nah, it's gonna be a totally new map. So I wouldn't mind that. Do we have enough 6 in PUBG Mobile Esports yet? Probably not yet. We need at least 1 more. But what we do need, and what you all will need as well, is this new collaboration with PUBG Mobile, which is Attack on Titan, that is currently live. And it involves transformation, there's ODM gear, and a lot more that you can play inside of this event. And if you make any content, don't forget to hashtag PUBGM X Attack on Titan to come together with it, so that we can, well, enjoy the creativity of your content with this amazing anime collaboration.
And first thing coming out into my mind is going to be the opening song for Attack on Titan. You know how crazy intense it is for the opening if you actually watch the anime. But what's more crazy is going to be there shall be collaboration, in which already available in the game right now. Experience the unrivaled power with the PUBG Mobile X shall be American collab. So Commander Legendary shall be GT 500 and 427 Cobra, an exclusive attachment and stunning colorways and more. It only available from the start of July 6th. Okay, only available until July 6th. So don't miss that. It's already available in the game right now. You only have like what, less than a month? I think it's less than a month.
Yeah, it's less than a month, so make sure you get it before you forget. Don't come and tell us that, I wanted to get it, but, you know, it passed July 6th. Can't do anything there. But the other thing that you can do while you log into PUBG Mobile and check out the new Shall Be America collaboration is this new World of Wonders Elimination Skill Fest gameplay. And you can check out the map 12886867. 12886867. This is where you'll be able to show off your skills and push your limit and become the best of the best on the battleground. Make sure you check this one out, experience it, and in case you make any content out of it, you want to showcase your skills to the world, don't forget to put in PUBGM 380 or PUBGM WOW. Wow.
Wow.
By the way, I wanted to ask, right, you,
Yeah.
since you mentioned just now about the opening theme song of Attack on Titan, right? Like, how does it sound like?
Oh man, my voice is like this. It's possible for me to actually do it. You know that song, right? It's a song. It's a fighter song, man. It feels like everything is epic. Everything is the end of the world. And like whenever you hear that song, but it's not the end of everything yet because we're just starting off our week 2 here with XSOPHERE getting the first chicken. EXO. We're just gonna call it EXO. XSP is impossible too. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take EXO. We'll stick with EXO, right? But because the team name takes a while for us to readapt, so they're not in our teams to focus for now. Instead, we'll have a different list here of the teams to focus. So you have, it seems to be the same. I think you're going for the same.
Nah, I'm gonna stay with the same one because today I want to see these 3 teams when it comes to the skill gap. We're gonna give it straight. I'm gonna give them straight and face here right now. This is how different between these 3 teams, despite the same tournament in the same group here today to fight, but very different skill gap. The question is whether they're willing to, go further more forward or whether they want to even try to expand their skills within the same week, especially the teams at the very bottom, SK.
Yeah. Especially for SK. We did see them a lot on screen early on, but they did not gain that many points. So this has to be a redemption round for them. You know, the other team that I really look forward to that missed out on week 1 Super Weekend is GLU squad.
Glue.
Just because they have the best style of everyone else.
So
the Power Rangers?
Yeah?
Yeah.
How does it have to do with the Power Rangers, though?
I mean, when it comes to style, right? Like they set a new bar now, a new benchmark of like style and people to remember them. Like, who dares to come up with that sort of jersey? And I love it.
How can you relate it with Power Rangers, man? I do see the connection.
Like, go Power Rangers, go GLU squad. Yeah.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah, I agree. It feels, but that's the thing, though. If you pick a bit of everybody else, then what makes you you? Where is your identity for the team?
But that's the unique thing about GLU, right? Like they have this identity that people remember them for their outfits. And fun fact, they back then, a couple of years ago, they even have this jersey that is the half of the jersey is long sleeve, the other half is short sleeve.
Yeah, we had the interview. Like, why is it designed and built that way? So that, when you have one arm a bit cold, then the warm one will actually try to cover the other. But what if you have both very warm? And what do you do with the other long sleeve? Then you cut it down?
You help each other to roll it up. Like, you get your friend to help you to roll up. That's a sweet thing to do.
Okay, well, I don't know how sleeves can actually do that, and do sleeves that actually have feelings, but we're gonna have to wait and figure it out later on because we're gonna hop into a second map of the day in our first Erangel in week 2, day 1 in a PMSL Summer.
So, Erangel, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with Sanhok. Now it's going to be Erangel, the real deal for a lot of these teams, especially looking at you, Vampire Esports and Xavier, 0 points in game number 1. This is redemption round for them.
The thing is, despite they want to redeem themselves, the other teams will not allow them easily to do so, and that's what makes it so difficult. And especially, you know what? Because the expansion of community in PUBG Mobile has been so great, especially you guys watching at home, you guys amazing. And it just, we go back to our root discussion before, like how the teams used to be a legacy team and then they disperse themselves and form a new team and make it, a bit scattered, but a new wave of PUBG Mobile plays. after a long time of duration in the league so far. But it also comes with a con, and that's going to be the other teams kind of know you used to be their ex-teammate. So they know each other way too much by now for all the teams that's competing in PMSL, except for the new Blood team. All the others kind of know how the other will actually think and how they rotate, and even how their signature plays by now.
I can't relate. I never know how my ex thinks, you know.
Huh?
Yeah. You know, like ex-teammate, you know, maybe
Yeah,
you
I
think
mean-
that they know each other more, but I can't relate because, you know, I never know how my ex thinks.
Something is wrong with you, bro.
Yeah,
How did you end up in a relationship if you never know what that person, what? Is that even a person to start with?
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's an ex, right? And, you know, that's why now I'm single, so, you know,
Oh, wow.
this happens.
It's too heavy for a conversation, but I agree. GLU,
Oh.
or I prefer call it glue. I really love their jersey, though.
Yeah, I know, right? Just like how I
Now I
someone
can
post,
relate.
a TikTok, a conversation between her and Mr. Manager.
I
That's
wish they
pretty sweet.
actually put a helmet on the players, too.
Wow.
Just to complete the set. But Chipang and Boo Boo Hoo. Now, Boo Boo Hoo, it's a mix of what BTR player and more of X players. You know, it's funny, like when we interviewed them back in the days, I don't think the players even think about they might actually ended up in a team right now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's it fits their name. They claw back all the old players to form this team called Claw Slayers. So we kind of think about it, right? Like this team of Claw, they're like I don't know if it's right for me to call it, but I guess it's the best way for me to illustrate it. Right? It's like you put back all the legendary OG players, and then you form this team, and that's Claw.
Kind of make me miss RRQ Tina players if they can actually make the same thing too from the Thai region. That would be amazing.
Oh,
If we
didn't
have-
they do that for
They did it for show match.
yeah.
But I want to see them perform back in the scene here right now, like D2E, G9, Ernie, all those guys, but in a different team, not together, in a different team. And, you know, all the veterans that we never think of they're going to be in the same team before finally stick together, like how Claw and Glue is.
Well, ETN, they don't expect this to happen. Now Mango has them on his crosshair. One player takes a lot of damage, another monster truck passing by, but also taking a lot of damage as well. And Mango, he is alone here. So he's taking a lot of risk here, revealing himself. Now, the monster truck has arrived, 1v2, and it's payback time by ETN.
Thomas and Noise taking them down. ETN, is this the Noise that we know, Noise? Is it the same 9 Noise?
Oh, the 9 Noise?
Uh-huh. I assume so. That's why I'm asking this player's name. Are they the same players or not?
You're asking a very good question.
Because
It
the way
shouldn't
they
be, though,
shoot
but-
is so similar when it comes to, you know, a new player or rookie player in the scene, they're a bit doubtful, they're a bit hesitant, they're a bit over the top or something, thinking too much or just overuse their utilities. But the way this guy's playing, using a different name this time, it feels very familiar.
Yeah, like Misery using Mastery, and then you have Mela becoming Meola, and then now you have Noise, which, on paper it shouldn't be there, but yeah, I need to get a confirmation on that.
Same for Earth Q, is it Earth Z? That's so many.
Oh
Because, you
no,
know,
let's not go there. Let's not go there.
it's a very dark pit hole in there, isn't it? A rabbit hole. You might actually discover a lot of unwanted and maybe some amazing stuff down there. But right, we're back towards the fray where MAQNA Esports now charging towards RIQ. Aggressive MAQNA. If you compare with them last season, they're more productive for this time.
Well, at least they made it into the first Super Weekend, and they were so productive that their management Fuse doesn't know that they're playing today. So hopefully by the time Fuse realize that, hey, actually they are playing, and when he opens the screen, they have a lot of points.
That's just how much trust the management has with the team right now, okay? Because they are so disciplined with their usual scrims and everyday practice that, you know what, we just let them do their thing. That's a good thing, I guess. But on the side of TODAK, they spotted out CelcomDigi Alliance. Now, TODAK, they clustered up together, while on the side of CelcomDigi Alliance fanning out to find information from off angle and different perspective, just to feed those information towards their IGL and waiting for his call on what to do next.
Well, Olio will need to survive on his own right now. Okay, buggy back tire punctured. Not so good news for Olio. He needs a pickup though. Let's see if his teammates will be able to come by. While Torad's on the lower ground, should be able to pick him up. We see a vehicle passing. Okay, that's going to be Leon's there with the rescue mission. And with the smoke, they should be fine. Okay, unless somehow this shot will hit. But nah, it's an AK, long range. It's not that easy. They'll be fine.
Oh, it's not so fine for CelcomDigi Alliance. They're kind of hammed down between two teams right now. This is not great. Nowhere to run, no hide, and not many spaces for them. They are exchanging their places to take a bunker, says Dreamy. Want to return fire and buy some time for his teammate to finally land on their feet after getting down from that vehicle. And lucky enough, nobody actually trading off their players in the process of moving away from that fire just now.
And nobody managed to trade off with CelcomDigi Alliance. They'll be back as a 4, so they'll be okay for now. Now on the other side, okay, SK. All right, this team, they need more points. They missed out on last week's Super Weekend, so 1 point is definitely not going to cut it for them. While we check out the next phase of the circle, slight chance he'll go to Novo, but no, it'll be tucked on towards the right side of the map, which is interesting. We still have like, what, 20% of water in this circle? Lesser playable land for these teams to play. Potentially more fights to happen. Coming up next.
Oh, it's a very small space for these teams to just fight for their space here. We might end up on top of the fourth guard on with the power by end of this few circles. For MAQNA Esports, they're quite in the center of everyone's attention. But we do have multiple teams staying inside of the blue zone, including eArena, ETN, even GLUBLUG. So they're taking their own sweet time. Last we saw them kind of in the northern side of the map just now, around shooting range area, but pushing themselves. Probably right now they're on the run to get into the circle. I don't know how they can get in without getting choked at all. There's so many teams concentrated heavily inside of the circle now.
Well, I guess for Xavier, they just answer your question. They were choked down, and one of the players need to eliminated, and Xavier only 2 players left. The fact that they got 0 in the last round, this is definitely not a good start for Xavier.
What happened to Xavier's? I mean, it's a very different version of Xavier based on the spring season compared to now. I feel like right now they feel a bit laid back compared to last season. I think they had already the same mindset that, hey, we don't want to get targets so much like last season. So we tried to get enough just to squeeze into the grand final. And that's where you can see them start to push all the way up. Maybe that's going to be the case for most of the teams that unusually place themselves down there. I feel like that's going to be the case because for a few seasons now, we're looking at the teams that want to attract unwanted attention, that want to be the target by all the other teams because they're just being too good.
Yeah, I guess that was to a certain extent what happened like over the Super Weekend, right? Like you have CelcomDigi Alliance banging it in the group stages, and when it came to the first day of the Super Weekend, they found it hard to perform. day 2 was better, but of course, they couldn't secure the #1 spot. And maybe that's the theory, right? You being the top team, people will give a little bit more attention to you. And that could be what's happening with the Xavier right now, with the fact that they lost Levi's to Vampire.
Only one player left on the side of the Xaviers. Not a good news at all. But for Vampires, Shrap seems to be down once more. It's a bit too aggressive, I must say, for the side of Shrap. Bold and brazen, just gunning in the open without thinking twice about how it can be. Actually opening so much opening for the team, but Solly taking down on TODAK players. It's going to be ringing around Rosie, but here comes Snowball. New Era tried to wipe them off and flush them down and charge into their compound. It's not a great position for the side of TODAK. They might lose their members, but suddenly Sunshine giving a bit of ray of light to give them some sort of hope to turn things around.
As long as Claw don't crash in, look at the minimap. Claw is actually going there. They might want to be the third party. They see an opportunity and they will take out 9. Oh, but that's still New Era still. Okay, here comes Claw on the other side. So Claw, they want to be the cleanup crew. Sunshine rides away into the sunset.
Not yet. The sunset is a bit too far.
Oh!
And it's going to be nighttime for the Sunshine, unfortunately. Still dark and not the end of the tunnel yet. But eArena Sakura just next to MAQNA Esports. What is going on? It's an open declaration of fight between these two teams, recklessly just giving away their position, because we might have a third party winning over these two teams right now, and that's going to be Vampires.
But that's what happens if you have this kind of circle tucked into the corner. It will force a lot of teams to fight, including Boom Esports in the fight elsewhere. But we're going to focus on to Vampire Esports now. Tony K against Amazal in this building. Nade will be launched onto Tony K. Takes a lot of damage, but here comes Shrubs as well from the side.
Amazal changed to AUG from his Bison. Vampires, Vampires are very good at approaching fights here. We know how well experienced they are. It's Mela, Tony K, and Onsen. I do want to see them fighting against Mormon, though. I'm looking forward for that.
Well, I believe that you will definitely see that. You definitely see that. That chance will definitely come. But now they'll be taking fight after fight against another team as they dropped in Primos and then they travel into the circle. The circle kept going away, so naturally your bumpy teams need to win fight after fight. So far, so good for Vampire Esports this round. Boom Esports. Now it's their turn to gain as many points as possible from the north.
Boom. They lost Octa. They still have Misery in there. Claw going in parallel way against ETN. Speaking of Mormon, I'm curious, if he managed to wipe out the whole team of Vampire by himself, would he actually dance in that arena?
Yes, please. We want to see the Mormon dance. Of course, they have to score the chicken dinner first. If they don't score the chicken dinner, then no way. Okay, so right now, ETN, one of the players, one of the teams on the inner side of the circle, now trying to block out Claw. We did talk about them being a veteran team, lots of experience, but experience is one. Overcoming the actual situation is another. And this will be the challenge against ETN.
Well, the Blues start to swarm across the players of Claw. They need to get out, but Vampires will try to choke them at that gatekeeping spot against ETN as well. And the circle seems to squeeze the life out of the players as trying to run away from the blue, coming up from the north side. Roy, Juki already gatekeeping those coming into the north, right on top of Prison, where Boom tried to scatter themselves. South side, I have to say, is quite concentrated as well. Now we're going to have major thinning of the crowd. The next stage going to commence.
Commencing by starting off with Vampire Esports, scoring 4 elimination points right now. And they're looking for more. Maybe Claw will be the next target, which is Bobo Hu, the IGL of Claw, the final player that's still active, tanking out the blue at this moment, using his last first aid with Vampire Esports just above this hill. But they not only know that Bobo Hu is there, they know that ETN is across as well. And here comes the nade by Tony K across. Let's see if it lands onto the other side. It will! It is by the OG, Tony K, to get that one.
M16 trying to follow up with the fallen teammate, hoping to revive, but he exposed himself to a very dangerous situation. Now, ETN is not doing great for them. seems to be a bit bleak for the future in this map right now as Shrap's pushing forward, and that's going to be it. Without sweat breaking across the forehead of Vampire's player, that's a quick cleanup crew.
Yeah, and immediately 7 eliminations for Vampire Esports. This is what we're talking about here. A team that is looking for that comeback this round after a disappointing 0 point in round 1. Now for GLU squad, go power GLU. Okay, now here goes against Boom Esports. They need to fight their way in. But on the inner side, we have SK.
Oh, it's going to be Xavier's eliminated as well. SK and a pet, and they'll be surrounded by this chaos right now. eArena are scouring them and taking them apart like vultures. Look at the nade galore. There's no stopping this, guys. The utilities are massive drop on the side of SK. There's nowhere to run, no hide, but Shin clinging on his life towards a very small space, safe space that's left with silence in between. I mean, Shin, he needs to pick one of the members up, and hopefully one of the vehicles still gonna work because they need to drive away from this very dangerous spot right now.
And he's praying hard that another nade doesn't land. Okay, eArena, they're done with the nades. Okay, they're happy to pick up those 2 points after that rain. And for SK, well, 2 players active left. But for the side of eArena, they not only have to focus on the SK, like there's so many other teams around them as well, just because of how the circle is. Back onto Vampire Esports. The next target is RRQ.
RRQ. Yeah, definitely interested towards the position of Vampires here. I have a sense it's another team on the northern side, slightly north towards Vampire. I think that's going to be Boom last time we saw them. And speaking of Boom, it's going to be Glue their first target. We do have Roy just on the south of the road, but Yummy Johan. I mean, Yummy Mayonnaise still. Hombit couldn't do a thing. It's too far apart from the rest of the team here. They have to sacrifice Yummy for the sake of the greater good.
Chased down by the Power Rangers right now, as they were trying to secure another elimination point. While the circle shifted towards the high ground, so teams on the lower ground will need to plan how they're going to go up here, while Xbox long range at the Pond Bit. One last stick of health. Wow, somehow he still survives that one, but finally gunned down by Juke. So Roy might steal this point away, and they will from the hands of GLU.
No effort at all on the side of Roy. Why would we want to sweat so much? We can just steal away with a couple of bullets in the very small amount of time they actually have. Now for Boom, it's down to only Misery left. I don't know how you're going to survive in the middle of circle with so many teams and troops for all the other teams out there. Still having a 3 player in their fray. But for Roy with that duo, still going to work things out. RRQ on the other hand, they're still not inside of a circle. But it's whether they want to go really down south of the circle or just slightly towards the southwest of the circle. That's going to be Vampires. But Vampires, we do know how aggressive they can get. With this play, I mean, Mela, he loved to play this roof play for the longest time we've known him. So they definitely got quite a clear view and a wide information regarding RRQ's position here.
Well, let's see if this nade can land from the lower ground, because RRQ will need it as they try to close the gap between themselves and Vampire Esports. Here comes a Gen Force, but immediately turns back. They don't have enough information. Doesn't help that the smoke is still active. They try to close the gap still. Lapar, very, very close to Vampire Esports. They fire back while GLU from the side knocks down Tony K. He could be helping out the other members of RRQ without them knowing it.
Oh, Vampires are caught by surprise. I didn't expect Glue actually coming up out of nowhere behind them and backstab the rest of Vampires. Now, Vampires, they have to go for another plan. They kind of cornered down by 2 teams at the same time on both sides. There's no way out whether to just survive, try to fight their way out, or they try to defend it as much as possible with only Onzas left. This seems to be very grim, and that's going to be the rest of Vampires. But at least, hey, Vampires, they still score quite a hefty amount of eliminations, 7 across the board. And that might just be the highest eliminations by far.
Yeah, 7, not too bad. But GLU and RRQ, they're looking to improve from the not too bad to even greater heights right now, as Noel will get a La Par. Okay, that's one down, and that's go time for GLU. Circling around, looking for probably another advantage. Hexa's got to be extra careful. He's right in front, but KF will get Asa. One more to go. Here it's going to be KF all alone, and now he fights. One v one with SOK, and he will win this one. Time to charge in.
Oh, it's going to be Pecco. Yep. He's trying to prone and shoot it down. But unfortunately, the moment he got himself indoors with so many teams charging towards you, that's going to be the end of it. It's going to be difficult to defend both sides of that fortress. But back to the open space in the streets, we're going to have eArena versus, I think, as a team on the very south for those, SK. TALON versus XSOPHERE. And this going to be a tricky terrain for them to actually wrap things around with.
Well, TALON with a high ground advantage. Axel, ooh, I don't think he planned to jump down, but it's okay. Extra cover for him to recover himself. And looks like they won that fight. XSOPHERE just got eliminated by the hands of TALON. Now we're in top 5 at stage 6, Juju. This round is so fast.
Yeah, we didn't see that one coming due to the circle just tucked into one side of the corner, which comprises a lot of water ratio in it. So this is being called for early on, down to 5, with very little players on the side of SK and Roy here. Especially SK. I mean, SK, it's going to be tough because they are so far out of the circle. The blue's so close towards their side. And on the rest of eArena, Mormon, Tourney, Sakura, and Joker just wait things out for them to present themselves and start firing. It happens right now, but at least they got some good covers from that vehicle, but not much longer. Silence being shot down. Tourney struggling, but that's going to be a Joker. Still managed to find and squeeze in those bullets to shoot them down.
And now TALON will need to squeeze into the circle. Their next fight is going to be up against Roy with Car in the shack. Lobs a nade into the smoke. This nade's very dangerous. It did hurt Boycho, but he's still A-OK while Juki is playing the support role behind. Now Achul rushing in on the Car.
Car is gone. And Juki as well. At the same time, by TALON Achul from afar. So TALON, they know for hey, it's going to be a very few amount of players left. Like, we don't hesitate. We don't feel hesitant at this point. Glue is going to be a 3v3v4. eArena do have slightly a better number when it comes to manpower and firepower. But it's all about how they approach from the very south of the circle to slowly closing into as a northern side where TALON is actually at. TALON is actually the furthest one away from these two teams right now.
Although TALON is the furthest one away, but the best one in this circle right now is going to be GLU squad. Hexas gets Boycho, and TALON's the one in trouble right now. Boycho eliminated by Hexas, as TALON will be finding it hard to actually climb up this hill. 10 eliminations. GLU squad, they're currently unstoppable.
Noel having one rock. And TALON, at least they have the circle still on their side here for how much longer? It's going to be less than 40 seconds on the clock. Might actually have a bit of a waiting game unless the one that can actually make some plays here is the one that actually on the left side, and that's going to be Glue. If Glue starts to charge in on both sides, it's going to be a quick wrap-up for this round. But the thing is, there's only like 3 players of Glue and 1 player against 3 of TALON. That's going to be super hard.
Yeah, but at least they had high ground advantage. Unless if the circle shifts away, then it's going to be super hard. Well, let's see. We'll find that out in about 3 more seconds right now. As Achul tries to get Noel at the side here. No circle for TALON. Okay, this is super hard for TALON. If they move down to the lower ground, then it's going to be eArena. If it's a high ground, then it's going to be GLU squad. At this point, it's TALON to pick that poison. How are they going to get it?
I'm going to call the shots here. eArena have a high chance of winning over this circle right now and this map. Because if on the side of eArena, they have nothing to run away from. TALON, on the other hand, the moment they start to push forward, Hexas on Glue's side already keep his eyes tight on the players of TALON right now. There's no way they can cut across easily unscathed. It's difficult for them to have a longer rotation too because time is not on their side. 3 seconds on the clock. TALON Achol knocked down on the ground. Yoru, how to save him? Axel down 1 to slither of health remaining. TALON losing their men just to run away from the blue while being shot down by these guys from the inside.
Look at Joker and his position on top of this house. It's like he has a good straight line of sight onto the members of TALON. The moment they step up, then Joker will have first view of them. Or maybe Hexas, just waiting for those points potentially being picked up, and he's on the inside circle. What a good angle here by Hexas. Pressure will be on the TALON right now if they can come up with a miracle run. But Achol, gun down, doesn't help that the zone is closing.
It's going to be high pressure on the side of TALON right now. Well, that's going to be it. Thanks to Hexas pivotal play on the side of Glue, hoping he goes down. But unfortunately, Noel will be taken down. Turning K, I did not see that one coming. I have no clue. You can actually see through Noel from that distance. It was quite a difficult angle to work with.
And Noel was airborne that time. So Sakura had that moment to just aim his crosshair, and he got Noel. Now, with 2 players left for GLU squad, they do have a high ground advantage, but they don't have the numbers. Mormon takes a bit of risk, moving up to the high ground directly. Now he has an off angle against GLU squad.
eArena, all healthy and alive against the rest remaining members of Glue, Hexas, and XKF. At least they being blessed by the circle for such a short amount span of time that's remaining on the clock as well. But at least if they can actually make something out of this for Glue, it's difficult for them to score a chicken, but not impossible. But if they manage to score a couple of eliminations still out of these last few circles, still going to be a big win for them.
Well, if they can score anything more, it will probably be a bonus here for GLU squad, considering the position that they are at right now. KF will need to move forward for sure. Since he's on the outside of the circle, Hexas is somewhat within it still, but he can't really move for his position because Mormon is there. Mormon right now is the annoying player for GLU squad as Sakura will try to spray on KF. KF, he will join Hexas on his side, but he will crash it directly on the Mormon. But the moment he arrives, Mormon is ready with his DBS.
Great pivotal player, Mormon, anchoring down the rest of Glue players, and that's gonna be it. 100% health for the players just now, all 4 of them well and alive, and 100% prediction of that circle when it comes to the players that still remain alive in that round for eArena. That's going to be the chicken dinner for them, but we have ourselves a very colorful line of Glue. Despite of that jersey, you have to give it, they are very colorful in terms of their play style as well.
We had a glimpse of the Mormon dance, but the camera had to shift forward when he was done. When he was about to dance. Oh man, but it's okay, it's okay. Looking at eArena's performance, we might expect more from the Mormon dance coming up soon. But we also got to see a very shiny jersey from, of course, a GLU squad that we really love. And this is the final moment. I mean, towards the end, eArena, they had the numbers. They would send Mormon on the other side, which was a great move by eArena. And there was almost no way that GLU squad can get out of the lion's mouth that is eArena.
I have to give it to the side of Glue's player Hexas. If he's not the one anchoring down his position on the off angle towards the side of TALON just now, it's going to be difficult for Glue to actually see talents coming on that side, to be honest. But nonetheless, eArena, I mean, they are the untouchable from the rest of the team that's fighting against that crossfire. Moment, Turning K, Sakura, and Joker. Now, Moment just shows how crazy he can get, how daring he can be, just push himself forward. He doesn't want to diddle-daddle anymore when it comes to finish off and wrapping up the chicken dinner for the start of the arena. Just charging with a basic vehicle against the rest of Glue play just now. That was bold.
Yeah, that was like the the last ditch move, right? Like if you don't do it, then you might go off faster. But they did it, and we'll check out the highlights.
On the northern side, just now down south to fight against those guys. On the side of Glue, they have an average amount of the total throws being used, 16 and 13, when it comes to grenade and the smoke respectively. But when it comes to damage, Glue and eArena, I mean, they are the teams that managed to survive the longest, so that kind of makes sense in terms of the damage out they managed to dish out based on how long they managed to survive.
But the one that survived the longest with a full squad time the most is eArena, obviously because they maintain all 4 of their players. But we still got to give it to like Vampire Esports, 15 minutes with a full squad team, but still able to last that long. But Tony K is showing Tony K that he deserves to be the highlight player here. MVP with 4 eliminations, 582 damage for eArena. So far, after 2 games, eArena overall very consistent. 2nd place in the sign-off match. Chicken dinner here in Erangel. This is looking to be a strong eArena team.
Who is Tony K? I am Tony K. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we've seen this player grow since day one. He's in the professional league himself, and how much he's been progressing throughout the entire career in PUBG Mobile. It's just getting better every single season. I can't wait for Tony K feel a bit challenged and finally show himself. If we can get Tony K versus Tony K, who's the better one, hopefully we can get that in the very final days in week number 2. But nonetheless, points with 11 eliminations is going to be eArena alongside with GLU or Glue getting 11 eliminations as well. Triple team with the double digit including TALON. But for the Xaviers, I feel like they really don't want to shine at all week number 2 based on last season's traumatizing event where everybody tried to take them down.
Another 0 for D Xavier. It's starting to be very weird, you know. I mean, if it's 1 round, okay. But if it's 2 rounds in a row, then a lot of questions for D Xavier there. Well, with 0 points, definitely they will be at the very end, but we still have more games to go. But the one that's at the top right now, eArena, 39 points. They are 15 points ahead of XSOPHERE. But let's all remember as well, the objective is to be in the top 16, to be in Super Weekend during the group stages. So whether you're number 1, well, then you can set the bar, or whether you're at number 3 or 4, it's still all right.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you feel like you're in the safe zone, because there's some teams that's not playing, they have to remember that. So what is the safest point, the bar standard, to the most minimal points you have to finish off your run before we go into the Super Weekend?
Well, based on data, so I did a little bit of math, right? It has to be more than 60 points. So for last week, the one that passed through was 63 points. So, and the one that didn't was like 60 points. So it has to be like above 60 points. That has to be like even like last week and also past season's data, you have to score at least more than 60 points to be kind of through.
It's almost the same standard like we had last season as well. If I'm not mistaken, last season also we set the score minimum. The bare minimum is going to be 60 points for them to be safe to cross into the Super Weekend. But the thing is always into the question, how small the gap between the teams to actually say it's 100% safe to get 60 points and get through to the Super Weekend. It's still not safe either way. But the problem if you outshine everybody else and be at the #1 spot multiple times in a row for every single week, you get targeted. That's what happened to these Avies. We have to remember how many teams tried to take them down during the grand finals and even during the Super Weekend too. They have been outshine, outperform everybody else. But this season, I have a feeling the Thai region seems to be stepping up their game because the majority of the teams from Thai, like they barely drop their performance anyway. It feels like it shows a different level compared to last season at least.
Yeah, the only time where they kind of was iffy was during the group stages of last week. But when it came to the Super Weekend, that well, obviously Vampire Esports and a couple of other Thai teams, they did well, so they're okay. And we can see that they're continuing on the momentum here. And we're talking generally about the Thai teams, right? It's not like specifically one Thai team. So it's looking like they are at least on a rising sort of a performance. And if we can carry on into grand finals, well, we might see the trophy return to Thailand. I know it's still very early to call this one. We're still like in the group stages, day 1 of week #2. But they are looking good so far.
Anything happens, it's going to be Cloud jinxing them. It's coming out from him. I have nothing to do with this. So Thai teams, anything, blame it on Cloud, okay? But you know what? When it comes to the teams that's not actually, not actually up there yet, I'm hoping for them to finally reach to the point like, hey, we finally get into PMSL for this season. Some of them grinding their way through the qualifiers as well. So they need to make a comeback here because time is not on anybody's side because for this year's seasons, all the format has been shortened enough to the point like they don't have a second chance if they don't do it now.
Yeah, and if you want to highlight on those teams that are at least playing today, we have RRQ, GLU Squad, and then New Era, XSOPHERE, ETN, KHOI Esports. So we got 6. We have 6 teams to play today that did not make it into last week's Super Weekend. So if we were to highlight on which of the teams that we want to give a bit more focus on, I would say that these 6 teams, because easily, if they don't make it into Super Weekend, then it's an early holiday for them.
Yeah, I mean, Team Secret's not playing here today. I'm looking for the performance though, because we saw the best of them in the last season as well. But for the teams that's pretty much got himself a first week of Super Weekend, I feel like these are the teams probably going to have another shot at second Super Weekend anyway. Because it's always been the trend, isn't it? It's so difficult for us to see the teams that not performing suddenly overcome the teams that well performed last week, and it is not consistent. There's always this gap between the skills of the player or even how they actually think and play the game. It's just very, very big gap in between those. They have to work things out at least one step at a time, including I hate to break it, but yeah, I'm hoping for SK to start to wake up and trying to learn from all these other teams what they have and what they have not done against them before.
Yeah, and SK and for me, it's New Era, have not been to the Super Weekend. We both have the same TODAK team. And TODAK, they only scored 1 point in last week's Super Weekend, so that's not going to be enough. They still have to make it into this week's Super Weekend. Non-negotiable. If you have 1 point, it's as good as, well, you don't have any points, especially with the fact that if any other team that did not make it into the Super Weekend makes it through, which will obviously be the math if that's the case, then yeah, they stand a very, very high chance of not being in the grand final. So 1 point teams will still need to go on.
I agree. But the 1 point teams, though, are the teams that used to play in the league. They are quite a veteran player too. But I mean, the one that should be worried about in this case, I mean, if it's a new blood team, like a fresh new basis team, if they didn't make it through the Super Weekend, we'll kind of get it because they don't have the exposure before. They did not know. You know, watching from the audience seat and actually playing in the player seat is two very different things. Don't know the pressure, the intensity they have to fight against. But right now, they are on the player seat. It's kind of okay for them to, you know, trying to gain their experience first. But teams like RRQ, they are in dire need to push themselves this time.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. A team with this sort of stature, with this sort of lineup on paper, it was a big surprise that they didn't make it on week 1 Super Weekend. So they have to make it into week 2 Super Weekend. RRQ will obviously be playing in the next round as we'll be heading back onto Erangel Game 3.
Two more Erangels, including this one to go. The teams that don't like the very vast map of the standard dunes Mirama have to make their comeback and make sure their points will be enough for them to carry over for their Super Weekend. Yeah, there's still tomorrow. They still have another day to go on when it comes to collecting the points. But do you want to put that at the risk by just putting yourself in a very high pressure position? So this guy make it or break it time.
Yes, the games will be going by though, so we really need to like make good use of every round because like the benchmark points, yep, it's going to be more than 60 points. That's the bare minimum that they need to hunt. Now, with this flight path, we're going to start from Novo up onto the northern side of Saberni in mid to the base itself. Look at the amount of teams. We have at least 4 teams there. Okay, SK, they're going to be at Novo. No one's going to bother about them. They're going to have their own space. But mid to the base itself, we have Roy, we have New Era, and we have another overlapping team there.
Oh, this is going to be quite a chaos. A couple of teams hot crop themselves, including GLU. Going to have first contact made between Roy and GLU. And that's going to be Hui Kwang taking on down on Noah quite early on. Duke responded with whatever that can be seen right across him, going zigzag. Wait, what? How? He doesn't even have a vest.
Well, and he doesn't need this vest if he can get this now. But he almost got KF. Look at that, KF. One last stick of health left. But he doesn't have any healing utilities. This is going to be an easy one for Mango. Should be able to do the business nice and clean. And he will save his teammate at the same time.
Oh, they had the upper hand before. As Hui Kwang managed to take down on a GLU player. But GLU, they're still high with their adrenaline after they're almost close enough to contend and they got themselves second place. And they're still maintaining their momentum, including this one. But unfortunately, Vampire.
They were probably on their way to their regular drop spot. But they happen to pass by this area. Might as well take advantage of it. A chance to pick up a couple of points here. Get the man advantage. But KF knocks down Onzens. Now Vampire Esports. Schwartz will need to come in from the other side. Hexus nailed down by Schwartz. He sees one target in front of him. Tries to do a jump shot, but Schwartz is well grounded on the ground. And that is GLU squad out with 3 elimination points.
You know, that's the worst feeling in the entire world when you thought you're winning over that battle just now against Roy. And you don't even have a breather to just get a vest for GLU. But Vampires, I have to give them the credit, you know? No credit being taken away at all for them to know their perfect timing to take advantage of the teams. They see that they are struggling to just be alive. Speaking of the other teams, other than the other 3 that we witnessed just now when it comes to first contact till the 2 teams being wiped out early on, all of the others seem to be very peaceful, including we have a swap between Zero and Pombe on Boom Esports side.
Okay, so making this substitution, and it's great that they make substitutions early since Boom, so far they only managed to collect 3 points. And they realized that, okay, let's just make whatever change needed because 2 rounds, it's done, it's enough. We cannot afford any more rounds because games will just go past by. Let's make this change. And let's see what Zero can bring to the lineup. honestly speaking, if on paper, whether you talk about pawn bid, whether you put in pawn bid, whether you put in zero, both of these players have their own achievements and they are equal in terms of performance. So it's a matter of, I guess, just keeping the players fresh, and by bringing in zero, hopefully Boom will be able to do better than 3 points in 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, the best ideal points per map for each of the teams right now is just 6 points per map across 12 matches or 12 maps, right? They can maintain 6 points in every single map. They're going to be okay. It sounds simple if you're not being charged in early like Roy or Glue. But if you have trouble, just try to survive the first stage. That's where you have to double up the work for the next map here. For Glue and Roy, yeah, great for these two teams. At least their points average right now, they had like what? For Glue, it's pretty much 6 points average per map. And that's what we want for each of the team to make it through across the Super Sunday or the Super Weekend. But for the teams having lesser when it comes to map number 3, they need to work things out now.
You know who is working it out? eArena. Top 5 eliminations, and all 4 of their players are there. 1, 2, 4. That is crazy. And one of the players up there who was our MVP before this is TODAK. Number 1 average eliminations, of course, we're only 2 games in with 4. Average damage, number 4, but that's okay. As long as you're able to bring in the elimination points for the team, it doesn't matter whether it's you deal a lot of damage or you deal a lot of assists. The points is where it matter. And TODAK is showing to be a player that has a lot of growth over the seasons. Like what you pointed out earlier, we've seen him for a couple of seasons right now. And so far, this season seems to be his best.
Yeah, I'm looking forward if he already hit his ceiling or can I actually break more into that. Especially when it comes to the grand final. Hopefully he can make it through. I feel like they're definitely going to get into the grand finals. I want to see when the high pressure of grand finals, will he stay composed or start to feel a bit frantic or being pressured in that situation? Because getting in the grand finals, especially if you know you're so close of getting at number 1 or number 2 spot or being even the top 3, the pressure will actually hit you. And it will affect your gameplay, like it or not.
And let's see if New Era's gameplay this week will somehow be affected positively, because they are one of the teams that missed out on week 1. And that means that they must make it into week 2. But now New Era, this time against CelcomDigi Alliance, the top team from the Malaysian region. 2 players in.
Oh. We lost look early on just now. We can see if he can just try to redeem himself this time. Sunshine again. Seems like making a lot of sunshine rays against the rest of CelcomDigi Alliance. Well, what is going on? CelcomDigi Alliance willingly giving away their bodies one by one, taken out by New Era. And New Era, they're going to grab them. But finally, they managed to get some trade going on. Jimmy managed to take down on 2, and Jimmy's taking on 3.
Reload.
Oh, Jimmy!
Reload.
Oh my God!
It was too bad that Jimmy had to reload at that moment. But here comes Vampire Esports. They want the points for themselves. They will take advantage of this situation. And Shrubs moves in, immediately secures 2 points for Vampire Esports. And with that, New Era short-lived win against CelcomDigi Alliance, as Vampire Esports will be the one to take over this entire compound.
Twice in a row now, Vampires managed to time their timing perfectly well, synchronizing with the teams that still licking their wounds, finish off from one battle to the other. And they just cleaning up the mess. Twice in a row now. Speaking of perfect timing, my God, I want to know who called the shots when it comes to your navigation throughout the map. That's crazy perfect.
Yeah, the timing, the third partying, absolutely perfect for them. And look at this, Vampire Esports already 8 elimination points in. Ooh, okay, they really want to take that number 1 spot in. it's definitely a good thing if you're number one and then you are the one to set the bar for the Super Weekend because, yeah, obviously you want to walk in with that sort of like a red carpet, right, to be in the Super Weekend. But the trade-off is that you need to be prepared for the fact that a lot of teams will be looking at you, like what you mentioned earlier on, and try to cancel you off at then. But I'm sure they must be thinking of like, okay, we'll figure that one out later. Right now is to gain all those points to get our Saturday, Sunday ticket.
Yeah, especially the teams that having less than 18 points, because 6 points average in a map is the best momentum they're going to have here right now. So we're talking about the teams at the 10th place down to the 16th place to be still alive and well, still having a full squad. Now we're waiting for them to start to